Alright, beep, let's do this. First thing first, the name is the LUI. Secondly, the game, it is the game of bodybuilding. Thirdly, the subject. Although it is about Big Ramy, this video revolves about his subject. We're gonna start off with this marvelous imaginary picture, in a sense. Half is Kai Green to the left, granted, admittedly highly doctored picture with all kind of contrast and basically effect and so on, and Mr. Olympia to the right. This year, Phil Heath doing a lat spread. Now both backs are marvelous. For the record, this one was taken supposedly last year in 2015 when Kai Green was preparing for Mr. Olympia, to which he did not show, right? So we never seen that marvelous shape of him. So I posted this picture with the following comment next to it. Kai Green, bruh, I have a simple question. Would you please shut down your Shakespeare operating system for 1 minute and tell me yes or no for 2017? Because right now there is a big problem that IFBB oil spill has, that Mr. Olympia has. How on earth will they hype 2017 version? What will be the selling factor? Because right now, Phil Heath, I guarantee you, you all know already. He is dominating. It's not even funny. It's not even funny, and there is no competition in sight. Now this year, granted, thanks to Kevin Levroni, Mr. Olympia was hyped ever so greatly. But next year, you cannot sell to the people Dexter Jackson or Sean Roden. I don't care. Second or third, that were very, very far away, dragging behind. Sure enough, Kai Green did answer me, so worry not. This was the answer of Mr. Kai Daily Green. Well, it's a great question, luimarco. There comes a time and place where the earth aligns with the sun, unbeknownst to men that... Wait, what was the question again? Haha, respect, champ. In other words, there is no answer. So it's still a mystery if this guy will do a comeback eventually next year to actually hype the event. Because if there is not, I'm sorry, it's going to be dull. And that mofo, that blue-eyed demon named Phil Heath, is reigning supreme, and he established a serious supremacy this year. Let me open up a fresh one because I need that. Properly opened, about to be consumed. Absolutely proper. Proceed, haha, shall we? So as I mentioned, the video is about Ramy actually, but allow me to give a salute once more to Mr. Kevin Levroni. This is a picture from this year next to a 2002 version. That's 14 years, champs. 14 years, people. So upstairs, he was absolutely to be saluted this year. And to be noted, he had chest injuries, right? I think the first one was in May, so he was not up to part up there. He was not optimal, yet he achieved this. So great salute is given to this legend. And again, he was the main factor, you guys all know, for hyping this Mr. Olympia this year. Without him, it would have been dull, right? Proceed, haha, shall we? From Kevin Levroni, we'll go to one guy of his epoch, of his era. Let me disable the sound real quick and sit tight and appreciate Flex Ken Wheeler 1993 version. This wasn't that famous Arnold classic, Arnold or Iron Man. Well, either or. Anyway, he won both of them. Look at this. Look at this bellies, baby, please. Dorian Yates of old, he nicknamed him a caricature. Look at the how exaggerate these muscle bellies are. 3D everywhere, just symmetry, balance, and optimal muscular development up there. He was about to achieve a serious back as well if he continued, right? I'm gonna tell you why it didn't happen. But nonetheless, this shape here is 220 pounds, if I'm not mistaken. 220 pounds, maximum 225, right? Pretty much almost the same weight as Sean Ray, for God's sake. Can you imagine that? Only 220, and he was like this. Just marvelous. He was second to Dorian Yates with a lesser shape. I mean, his shape was not as good as this in Mr. Olympia, but he was very close second to a big Dorian. This was the next thing. Unfortunately, as you guys know, afterwards he started to party with Dr. Dre and the rest of the clique in the West Coast, and he made a mistake, a grave accident in his Benz, destroyed his neck. So we never seen an optimal flex wheeler. Let me drink. Proper. Proceed, haha, shall we? From Flex Ken Wheeler, we go back to this year. Marvelous picture, very revealing. Let's dismiss the bubble gut of Dexter Jack. And we'll dismiss also Sean Roden. Because with all due respect, Sean Roden is just not in the same league when it comes to Phil Heath. I mean, he was not even close this year. He will never have this kind of outrageous muscular separation up there. I mean, the two heads of the triceps are just outrageous, taking their independence. The arm of Phil Heath looks big. The delt looks big. Everything is just more 3D. He is basically just bigger than him and more exaggerated than him, with all due respect. When it comes to Dexter Jackson, why am I talking about him? Because a lot of analysts and journalists, even back in the day, from all the way, they say that Dexter Jack is like a smaller Flex Wheeler. I repeat, so the guy I showed you, Flex Wheeler, they compare Dexter Jackson to him. And indeed, they resemble each other in a lot of cues. But they say he looks like a smaller Flex Wheeler, which is kind of nonsensical in a sense, because Dexter is heavier, always heavier than Flex Wheeler. He's about 240, 245 if I'm not mistaken. The thing is, he looks smaller. Flex Wheeler optimizes the roundness. It's like everything is more optimized. It is just efficiency. Same goes with Phil Heath. Phil Heath is not heavier than Dexter Jackson. I think he is lighter actually. Yet he looks that much fuller, that much bigger. He just has that. I mean, the bellies are just rounder, right? So efficiency right there. 1997, Flex Wheeler was very small. He brought a very small shape, with which he won the Arnold Classic versus Nasser El Sambari, if I'm not mistaken. Nasser was north of 280. He was like about 285. I remember a back double bicep, which is, you cannot find it unfortunately nowadays on Google. But the roundness, the arms, the delts of Flex Wheeler looked bigger, larger than Nasser El Sambari, although he was given to him at least around 60 pounds. He was 60 pounds lighter, but he was optimizing that. And may he rest in peace, Nasser El Sambari. He said he's not only the Sultan of Symmetry, he's the Sultan of Illusion. Let me drink. Properly consumed, right? So this is a problem that these guys are facing today with this blue-eyed demon named Phil Heath. He just brought efficiency, and I'm sorry, the other guys don't have it. It's not about the weight. They will never be efficient. Look at Flexotron Roden versus Flex Lewis. Trust me, it's not out angling. I mean, the arms of Flex Lewis are just bigger. He looks more 3D, he has more roundness, which this guy unfortunately he cannot acquire. He reached the limit, and this year, admittedly, he brought a bubble trouble gut bonanza. That being said, I salute him because he made a big transformation. He was like this with the dead bod. 2008, he had some family issues, personal issues, if I'm not mistaken, back then, and he bounced back. So he is the second physique right now, as per Mr. Olympia. Proceed, haha, shall we? So we stay with this blue-eyed demon right here who brought this milestone shape, doing the Frieza Dragon Ball Z pose. He's really imposing that that supremacy. He reached that big bad all muscle. And as I told him privately like 2 or 3 days ago, I told him, bro, I have mixed feelings about your win this year because it's not even funny. I mean, I really wish you had like some serious competition. It will hype it, will make it more exciting. But in the absence of Kai Green, we don't know. I don't know how they will hype it next year. Now we have this guy, since the talk is about him. Big Ramy. This is the picture of this year. And for the record, since we're at it, yesterday I spoke with Big Ramy, and it was hard because for me I had to upload my Arabic language software to my head, right? So it took me about 5 minutes to, to get there. And thankfully I was talking pretty much on a daily basis with some camel crew with Arabic, so my Arabic was not that bad. Anyway, he's a gentle giant. I mean, very gentle. I mean, very good guy, very humble. I was talking to like the biggest bodybuilder in the world, but he is the opposite when it comes to personality. He's very humble, very down to earth. Very polarized in his shape this year. Admittedly, we see definitely more details in the glutes, hamstrings are more loyal. But then again, when you compare him to Mr. Olympia, of course he's not there as of yet. He's still larger. I know his weight at Mr. Olympia. I'm not going to reveal it. These guys want to keep that, on a hush-hush, but I was not satisfied with his weight this weekend in prejudging and also in the finals. It was definitely lower, obviously, than his usual cruising speed. Now, this guy is well ahead, right? He is smaller. He's not as wide, by no means. However, again, efficiency, optimization of that 3D effect coming at you. Again, that famous ridge of the Central Valley in California down here. And here is Colorado all over again. There's Grand Canyon there, and the mountains, whatever, the Rockies, maybe please. He's just optimizing that space. King Cobra eyes upstairs, which admittedly, Ramy lacks. Why does he lack that? Problem was not only the weight this year. Ramy is getting better, even when it comes to details, year after year. And a lot of gurus had their hands on him, right? I mean, George Farah, then it's James first, and right now Chris Acito. It's not an issue. His issue is just time. This guy is getting better. Details are getting better year by year. He's not out of the oven. I think his training is like 6 years, 7 maximum, right? So it's just time. He needs time. And there is no way for him to win Mr. Olympia 2016. 2017, he has a shot to be second. He can win it, but conditionally to this guy, Phil Heath, coming off, right? But he is definitely poised to be second easily next year if he plays it well, right? Again, efficiency from Mr. Olympia, saturation, big bad muscle maturity. I mean, when he trains, he has that salt and pepper gray beard. He just reached that cruising beat. For him, it's just a matter of not damage control, but to keep it there, stay easy. He knows his body now and to not get injured, right? And he's secure that. He is really secure. Another pose, most muscular pose with one hand on the waist right there, compared to Big Ramy. Although, as I said, I'm not going to disclose his weight. Let me drink again. Sangoku, bro. I'm getting that energy. Anyway, although his weight is down, believe me, he is tens and tens and tens of pounds heavier than Phil Heath here. Definitely way heavier. However, and the scales are quite respected. I try to respect the scales, the height and whatever, as much as I can. Look at the arms. They look rounder in Mr. Olympia. He doesn't need to be heavy to have that roundness, because the dude is compact. He is compact. Again, his efficiency, everything is close, tight together. Even the chest rounds more, and he can afford to have also striations and feathers, more details than a bigger, conditioned Big Ramy. For Big Ramy to attain that roundness and that saturation, he has no choice but to be himself. I told him yesterday in Arabic, Big Ramy, you're not moderate Ramy. Your real name is Mamdouh Sibiai. You could have kept your name Mamdouh Sibiai, but no, you have a nickname, Big Ramy, because big you are. Big you are known to be. You need to keep that game. I'm sorry, that's the winning game plan. I told him that times, and again, I don't care what guru you're rolling with, that's your business. But in my humble opinion, a lot of people agree with this, you cannot sway from your main game, or you will actually look too small. I don't care. He was at least 20 pounds heavier than Sean Roden, but it didn't show that much, especially not in the pre-judging. For him to impose himself, he needs to be himself, like he needs to leave humanity when it comes to the scale. Definitely flirting with the 300 pounds seriously, right? So you see like the difference. He should win in this pose. He's larger, he's wider, but the lack of weight basically makes him look definitely, there's a lot of air effect there, a lot of void, which this guy basically, this guy is tight, this guy is compact, he closes everything, there's no void right there, it's a complete pose. And look at him, this is an insulting pose for his competition. Trust me, it's not easy to do. Some people will never be able to do it. The likes of Bubander, Rolly Winkler, unfortunately for him, genetically does not have what it takes to do this. The lower back is not loyal. You either have that or not genetically. Big Ramy has it. It's not out of the oven as of yet. This is a complete pose. Everything is contracted. It's like, damn you, try to do it, bro. Try to do this. Trust me, it's not easy to do. Everything is contracted from head to toe. And again, center stage, imposing that efficiency. With all due respect to Dexter Jackson, to Sean Roden, move out of the way. Move out the way. They will never reach this. They're both old. They're older than him, right? Significantly so. They don't have what it takes to have this Cobra effect. The only guy who can have that, I mean both actually. And for the record, Bonac was only 3 points behind Big Ramy. So he was very, very close. The matrix of Big Ramy is there. The eyes are there. They're just not out of the oven as of yet. But dear Lord, if he comes out of the oven, Phil Heath better retires by then, because he will be unstoppable. He just needs to do it properly. And again, I salute Dennis James. He was not bitter. Although he's no longer training Big Ramy, he was honest when he made an interview on Rank. He said, bro, the only dude who can knock Phil Heath in that lineup, and it was prior to Mr. Olympia, like in the night before, said it is Big Ramy when he will reach his full cruising speed, his full potential. He's getting better. Details in the back are better. I still believe he should have placed ahead of Dexter and Sean Roden. They didn't give it to him. But nonetheless, the game that he needs to play is his game. It is the impose. He needs to dominate. He needs to bully these guys more than he does here. The comparison of his legs next to Bonac should not exist. This is an insult. He should not be. I mean, look at he lost a lot of size this year. I mean, his legs are still bigger than the rest, but they should not be compared by no means to a smaller Bonac. He needs to leave humanity. I'm imposing my bitch of a will on this stage. And again, he loses this pose here to both Phil Heath and Bonac. Roundness, that effect, right? I don't care how much you weigh. If you look small, not compact on stage, it won't work for you. It is the name of the game nowadays. Proceed, shall we? So this is Mr. Sean Roden. I think he left the door open, the garage was open in the finals. These guys, all of them should be dinged. Take it from Mr. Olympia to the number 16. You bring a bubble gut, that's a big penalty, and it didn't happen this year. Now, granted, the back double biceps here of Big Ramy is doctored, heavily doctored. The picture is touch, but nonetheless, it showcases the details he achieved this year. There is a size we did not see before. His back was definitely lacking the details. This year he brought some better, proper, hallelujah, let's applaud. He needs to continue on this path, but from a different approach. We need to go back to 2015 when he was Big Ramy. And another shot from this year, the back is becoming loyal, he's becoming insulting, invasive. The way to go. I need more mass in the glutes. That's another subject. I'm gonna come back and talk about it because he's gonna compete actually this weekend in Spain. As you guys know, there is Arnold Spain, right? He might do good, hopefully, but he needs to not do the same thing, not bring the same shape as the prejudging. He needs to definitely be a touch bigger. Now, not miracle, because that's muscle that has been lost. It's not only carbon up. He needs to rebuild it. It will take months. It will take a serious off season next year, but we'll see what's up. Let's go back in time. Another Arab guy, actually, Mohammed Ben Aziza from Algeria this time around. He had a serious back, one of the best backs ever, actually. He won, actually, versus Dorian Yates, not in this specific contest. This was in 91. I think he placed number 5th in Mr. Olympia, but it was politics. It was really politics. He won the year before versus Yates with the same imposing back in the Night of Champions, which is called nowadays, I think, the New York Pro. Anyway, he had more muscle maturity, more thickness than one of the best backs ever to be. Dorian was still young. His back was not as loyal yet. He was not out of the oven. But that's what I'm talking about. Time is required to build that serious compactness, the serious package. In a sense, hell, this is me, LUI, look, do I even lift? But nonetheless, that meaty chunk, you either have it or not. If you do have it, it requires time to be built. Do I even lift next to these pros? Sean Roden again, another shot next to Mr. Olympia, Phil Heath. A testament that in this lifetime, if Mr. Olympia is on, I'm sorry for Sean Roden, just like Dexter Jack, no way to catch up, no way. I mean, another league. This back will never be like this. You either have it or not. And even from the front, the roundness, the potential of Phil Heath is reached. His cap level, his Dragon Ball Z level is 9,000. That of Sean Roden is merely 5,000, right? It is what it is. It is what it is. Do you even Son Goku, bro? Right? This happened, as we guys know, in the classic physique. Sadiq Hadzovic, unfortunately, he will never have that thick, meaty back. He is a smaller version of Dennis Wolf, the bodybuilder. Shallow back, high lats, not fixable, not doable. You can do the heaviest rows you want to do. You can do deadlifts all day and every day. Ain't gonna happen. You either have that chunky back, 2 chunks here, down there, or not. Kid here is 22. Already has it. Granted, maturity is not there yet, but he has that lower back, which the other guy lacks. That's why Rolly Winkler will never be Mr. Olympia, unfortunately, right? Very hard. He lacks that specific feature. This was, I think, in Brazil, right? Last year. Ramy that I like. Ramy that is dominating. He was happy. He was smiling, which he was not doing last weekend in Olympia. He didn't feel secure. This guy needs to be the dominator. I need to dominate this bitch. The turf is mine. And finally, we arrived to Prague. Yesterday, I told him this repeatedly. Prague. Or as he said it in Arabic, because in Arab they don't see the P. He said brag. I told him, yes, brag, bro. Brag about it. Brag it is. Brag is a milestone. Look at his face. Look at his face. Did you see a face like this year? No! I mean, even the chest is bulgy in the front double bicep, for God's sake. Talking about the bicep, look at the left one, how it was big. Look at the forearm development. Just massive. I mean, this biceps was melted. I told him in Arabic, bro, that meaning it melted. It's like a freaking global warming phenomenon, bro. Absolutely not properly saluted. He should have built from this size and then just polish. I'm not telling you he would have beaten Mr. Olympia, because Mr. Olympia is muscle maturity, right? Which he ain't got not, right? But he would have been a serious second. He would have put Mr. Olympia in notice. I'm coming. And next year would have had serious competition versus Phil Heath. This was the shape. He was getting there. Definitely fuller. He has beaten Sean Roden here, as I mentioned to you guys. He has beaten Dennis Wolf. So this was, in my opinion, his game plan. He needs saturation. To reach that saturation, he needs to leave humanity. It is his body structure. He cannot go versus his nature. Look at that. Did you see a face like this year? No. This is security. This is massive. This is imposing. This is the biggest here. Look at those quads, for God's sake. And details were there. We're still there. I truly believe if he would have been like this year, I guarantee you he would have smoked Dexter Jax out of the galaxy, Milky Way, for God's sake. And Sean Roden, he would have been in freaking Orion constellation, for God's sake. He would have blew them away. This is the big Ramy I like. This is the big Ramy you're like. If he comes back like he was this year, last weekend, that's medium Ramy. Not enough. Look at the amples. Look at the face. You've never seen a face like this weekend. He could not do it. He was small. He did not have the credential to do this. I'm imposing. I am big. That's the way to go. Security and built up from here. If it's not broken, don't fix this. Yes, we know it takes time to polish the details, but hell, he will do it. But this was in Brazil, by the way. Phil Heath has no chance to win versus this boat. I mean, nobody, not only Phil Heath. When he is big and he does the front lat spread, he dominates everybody. He kills everybody. It's not even Dorian-esque. He took it to another level. He's bigger than Dorian-esque. So in a few years, hopefully, we will see Ramy-esque. It needs to be Ramy-esque. Again, this was from Prague last year. Arms were significantly bigger. But just the saturation, he should have stayed and keep the course like this. This is him. This was off season, I think. He was north of 320 here, easy. This is the Ramy that can be a threat to Phil Heath. Phil Heath told me about him actually privately, and he recognized the potential. So this is what's up. This was versus the Russian giant, right? I forgot his name. Popov, or I don't know, something that finishes with ov. Not Lesukov, not Popov, Romanov. Oh, I forgot his name. Anyway, this guy was loyal. He was doing battle versus Jake Atler and Ronnie Coleman back in the day, and then he had actually he always had like a chest injury right here. Tricep is very loyal. So are the quads, but he had nothing on big Ramy. So this was it. Look at him. Out angling not even once. He won versus Dennis Wolf and Sean Roden. And if he would have kept on that course, he would have absolutely beaten even less of a sharper version of Dexter Jackson this year. This is from the same event. And now we go back to his fellow Egyptian, may he rest in peace, Nasser El Sambari. His story is rather remarkable. This guy was a tier 2 or tier 3 at best bodybuilder in 94, and then he left humanity and he became like this, and he had the same face. He doesn't smile that much. Everything is saturated. The traps almost reach the ear, and he was able to do battle versus Dorian Yates, debatably Mr. Olympia 97. Look at him in 97. I mean, he was just better. I mean, definitely he deserved a Mr. Olympia. And 94, he used to be beaten by that guy right there. His name is Mike, and his last name is Francois. You can notice Sean Ray. You can guess what he was thinking. He was thinking in the back, right? Sean Ray, of course. There we go. Another picture next to Sean Ray. And Sean Ray was whining about Nasser El Sambari. He said, bro, this guy is too big, 285, whatever, I'm merely 220. No, the name of the game was mass, and he was successful. This was in 94. Did he even lift? Streamline, static. He was also doing some ground posing sometimes, right? You can notice here versus the guy I mentioned, Mike Francois, that he won actually. So Mike Francois placed first in this Night of Champion 94, if I'm not mistaken. And Streamline Nasser El Sambari was number 2. Guy here is another blue-eyed demon. I think his name is Al Curly. This is the French guy Thierry Pastel. I also recognize here David Dearth or Dearth. This guy was good, and he had an injury in his back, right? As I said, Nasser was allowing himself to do some ground posing. And this is again Momo Ben Aziza. See the muscle maturity. It was showing even more. I mean, the muscle development was even better than that of Dorian Yates before Dorian Yates came out of the oven, right? Before Dorian reached his potential. As a matter of fact, Momo was winning versus Yates. Another picture from Momo Ben Aziza. Guy here, you guys recognize him? This was the master of that era, Lee Haney. And this is oh, I forgot his name. This guy. Oh, what's his name, man? Oh, anyway, Vince Taylor. Sorry, Vince Taylor. The back, he had nothing on these two guys, but you can see that small Algerian back is just marvelous. By the way, Lee Haney nicknamed him the Giant Killer. Giant Killer. And with all the respect to Lee Haney, this picture showcases the politics even back then. I mean, the conditioning downstairs, look at that. Hamstring, glutes of Momo were definitely superior. I mean, Lee Haney, by today's standards, would have been a fat ass. Look, I mean, he has definitely wrinkles there, no conditioning, a big film, thick film of fat down there. Same goes with Vince Taylor. And that guy also left humanity, right? Momo Ben Aziza became a monster, and then he passed away, may he rest in peace, in 1992. Saturation. That's what's up. So that's it, guys. Big Ramy has the potential to definitely not only be a menace to Phil Heath very soon, as soon as 2017, because he needs a big off season to regain that muscle that was eaten by this prep. I mean, he melted. That choice, that bet was not loyal. Go back to the drawing board, build up muscle, take your time, be patient, and have a realistic target. Still young, 32, still young in the lifting game, about 6 years, 7 maximum. That's nothing, right? That's peanut, right? And he should actually by next year already dismiss Dexter Jackson and Sean Roden. They should be really discarded, and he should target Phil Heath. And Phil Heath right now, if he does not have a menace from Big Ramy in the absence of Kai Green, he is poised to take the record 9 sandals or even 10 securely. He is chilling, senseless. That's what's up. Salute you wherever you is on a nightly basis. Tell me what time it is. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe to bro. What the hell is money is going everywhere. Not properly saluted.